Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Winter tightens its grip. We are expecting wind chills tomorrow morning as low as -20 in some parts of our viewing area. Thank you so much for being with us for the News at 6. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Damon Fernandez. You know, the deep freeze isn't going away just yet, and that's why the 4-1 weather team is declaring an alert for Friday morning. Meteorologist Ron Hilliard here with more on what to expect when you wake up. Hey there, Ron.
Damon, KG, we are looking at some very cold temps that will be down to below zero. The wind chills will be down to -15 and -20 in some spots. Right now, looking at Metro Airport, we are seeing those winds coming out of the north-northwest about 5 miles per hour. And then those actual air temps are ranging from about 10 in most spots to 15, slightly cooler in Port Huron with 9. The wind chill values are going to be a lot lower right now and throughout the rest of the night and morning. It feels like -5 in Flint, feels like -1 in Pontiac and Mount Clemens. We are going to be seeing that cold weather advisory going into effect at midnight for communities north of 8 Mile. So those of us south of 8 Mile, Detroit, we're going to fare slightly better because we have more cloud cover that's going to help to keep the air temps slightly higher. By slightly higher, not as low, but still in the negative territory for our actual air temps, and the wind chills will still be down into territory of -10 or so in Detroit. Forewarned weather alert for that dangerously cold air once again that begins tonight going through tomorrow morning. We could even get a few snow showers developing late tonight. Accumulation is not going to be an issue. It's the cold that remains an issue. That cold air impacting us all across Michigan. Those lake effect snow showers coming off of Lake Michigan. I'll tell you more about the timing of when we see that coldest air coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Ron, and those sub-zero wind chills create the potential for a lot of school closings tomorrow morning, even as many districts are getting close to the maximum days allowed before they'd have to add more days to the end of the school year.
Now, Brian Sherman spoke with Northville Superintendent R.J. Weber, who says safety has to come first in that equation, even if the decision isn't a popular one.
What I would say to people is, again, go back to that cost-benefit analysis. Would you rather put your kids or staff, like here in Northville, we have staff that drives over an hour to come in to serve kids. I think about them as well. I don't want to put any of them in a position where they are harmed coming to serve kids. And if I had to be the bad guy to say, okay, so we're going to go 3 additional days in June because we had to go 9 days out to inclement weather in the winter, this is my opinion, Dr. Weber's opinion, then so be it. I'll wait for my nieces and nephew to text me the hate texts if they see this.
And when those school closing calls are made, they'll appeal right away on clickondetroit.com. So make sure to check out the updated list. You'll see the link right on the front page.
The severe winter weather that hits Michigan and other parts of the country hasn't just delayed flights. It's also causing big issues with cargo below the planes. Amaya Kuznicki spoke with funeral homes today who are facing challenges getting caskets where they need to go.
Kemp Funeral Home in Southfield specializes in international transport, but because of the weather, this week they've struggled to do just that, and families are searching for closure.
I have to call the family, tell them, well, they're not booked on this flight. Well, when will they be booked? I don't know. I'm trying.
Stephen R. Kemp says in his 40 years in the funeral business, he's seen delays, but never anything like this.
With all these delays, I didn't want to have any problems.
For days, Kemp has been taking call after call, rescheduling flights to transport loved ones who have passed. He says airlines have put embargoes on cargo because of the bad weather, turning shipments away. Delta Airlines is one of them. A spokesperson for Delta says that Detroit Metro Airport lifted the embargo Wednesday evening and that it was put in place to make sure transport is handled safely during winter weather.
Day before yesterday, they accepted the flight, checked it in, weighed it, got it into the cargo area, and then came back and told my driver, you had to take it back.
And Kemp isn't alone. Over at James H. Cole Funeral Home in Detroit, they're facing the same challenges.
They said, wait a minute, we can't take your drop off because we have actually stopped receiving bodies from Detroit.
Green says this isn't new. Weather always impacts transport.
Whether it's hurricane season, wintertime, We always end up running into different issues that are completely out of our control.
The Federal Aviation Administration and Detroit Metro Airport say it's up to the airlines. We reached out to American, United, and Spirit, but have not heard back.
Today, Kemp tells us that the embargo has been lifted and he's hopeful to get everyone back home. In Southfield, Amaya Kaznicki, Local 4.
Tonight, ICE is responding to claims that surfaced this week about parents possibly being arrested near a school bus stop in Ypsilanti. Reports came into the Washtenaw County Sheriff on Tuesday that a mother had been detained in front of her child. We reached out to Immigration and Customs Enforcement yesterday, and today they sent a response confirming they did stop 2 vehicles and detain 4 people. But they say the claims of children witnessing that are, quote, lies. Their statement says, quote, ICE does not target schools for enforcement action or bus stop locations. To be clear, no children were present during these arrests, end quote. Now, the sheriff also posted an update on social media today saying no arrest occurred on school grounds.
A fire tears through a Southfield apartment complex, leaving several families scrambling for a place to stay. Early this morning, flames and smoke engulfed the Oxley Apartments on Providence Drive. It took multiple fire departments to get it under control, with some residents rescued by ladder. 2 people were hospitalized after breathing in too much smoke. In total, 27 people were forced out and are now looking for temporary housing. One resident said they're just thankful everyone made it out.
I thank God, I skipped that material stuff. I'm happy that I'm still here and everybody that was on my floor is safe.
It's unclear what caused the fire. We'll stay in touch with the fire department and we'll update you when we have more information.
Well, World Health officials are closely monitoring a developing situation in India right now after 2 cases of the Nipah virus were confirmed. The rare but deadly disease spreads through fruit bats, pigs, and human-to-human contact. Now, the virus was first identified in 1999 and has caused periodic outbreaks in Asia, but health officials are anxious to contain these cases as quickly as possible. The 2 cases of Nipah virus were detected in India in the state of West Bengal, but there are concerns the outbreak could spread. According to the World Health Organization, the virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%. Far deadlier than the COVID virus, and there's no vaccine for Nipah. Authorities in India are taking no chances. At the same time, several airports across Asia, in Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, are taking steps to screen passengers for any symptoms. Nipah is transmitted from animals, usually fruit bats or pigs, and doesn't spread easily to humans. But in past outbreaks, the virus has spread from person to person, especially among close contacts and caregivers. It can also spread through contaminated food. When Nipah does hit, it initially feels like the flu, then worsens. Experts say pneumonia and other respiratory symptoms can develop. The most serious complication is encephalitis, or inflammation of the brain. There's no specific cure, just supportive care for symptoms. The World Health Organization says the fatality rate has a lot to do with the country's capacity to test, trace, and treat those infected. In India, authorities have quarantined nearly 200 people who may have come in contact with the 2 infected. It's the first time in nearly 20 years that India has had cases, but they believe the outbreak is now contained. U.S. health officials are also watching the situation very closely. The CDC says it's ready to assist if needed. 4,500 people will be losing their jobs as Midland-based Dow Chemical shifts toward artificial intelligence and automation. The company said today the cuts are part of a broad restructuring to boost profitability by $2 billion. No details were released on which areas of the company will be impacted, but the cuts amount to 13% of Dow's workforce. The news comes during a week of big job cut announcements. 30,000 at UPS and 16,000 at Amazon, which just laid off 14,000 workers last fall. Well, a major drug bust in Detroit area has taken a large amount of illegal objects and substances off the streets. Detectives have been tracking a drug trafficking ring since last fall, and last week their work paid off. On January 22nd, officers executed 6 search warrants across Detroit and the Downriver area. They found a huge cache of weapons and drugs, including cocaine, crystal meth, and MDMA. Investigators also seized 3 vehicles and more than $77,000 in cash.